A very happy Monday to you, and thanks so much for joining us tonight on UpNorthLive Unscripted at 6:30. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend, and it was a bit of a warmer weekend. We saw a lot of melting across northern Michigan, so all that snow we saw last week, a lot of it is indeed gone. Today was another warm one, but Joe says that more cold and more snow, they're both on the way.
You are right, for sure. I was actually surprised, Maya. I mean, I knew it was going to be mild, but how much snow some areas did lose.
Yeah, significant.
Yeah, it was kind of nice because I was one of those, I didn't shovel a whole lot. And so I didn't have to because it kind of melted in spots. Just busy last week. But anyway, we're looking at, even some winter storm watches in spots. We do have that colder weather coming in, and some of the snowbelt areas, once again, by midweek are going to be dealing with, what could be some potential hefty snow. So we'll look at that and much more a little later.
All right, thank you, Joe. And let's start off with news out of Otsego County tonight. So Otsego Memorial Hospital in Gaylord is in the beginning stages of transforming into a regional hospital. So you can see fencing is being placed around the soon-to-be construction site as preparations are underway to expand the hospital. The $33.6 million project is expected to take about 2 years to complete. That's what it will look like when it's done. Those are just some renderings. The plans include doubling the number of beds in the ICU, upgrading private room options, and having dedicated nursing stations. Now, the project is focused on giving the surrounding communities more medical options and better access to specialists.
I was getting ready for work. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to just...
And once complete, the birthing center will offer water birth options, larger rooms, and other upgrades. Sorry, I thought we had a soundbite there, so that's why I paused. Turns out we don't have a soundbite because we actually have a live guest to talk a little bit more about this. So let's welcome in Laura Glenn. She is the Chief Operating Officer for Munson Healthcare. Hi, Laura. How are you today?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Thanks so much for coming on to talk about this very exciting project. So we kind of already mentioned this in the story, but can you go into a little more detail about what exactly is the significance of becoming a regional hospital?
So this is part of what we call at Munson Healthcare our regional care transformation plan. And so this is all about how do we enhance the level of care that we're providing in our regional community so that we can keep patients closer to home for their care. So by investing in Otsego Memorial Hospital, we're able to expand their inpatient capacity. So more patients requiring hospital stays can stay locally at Otsego. As part of that project, we're doubling the size of our ICU. So that allows us to keep sicker patients who would have previously needed to be transferred to Munson Medical Center in Traverse City. So again, the goal is to keep patients closer to home for their care. In addition, we are developing a new birthing center at Otsego Memorial Hospital, expanding the size, as well as offering some new services like water birthing that we don't currently have available in the community.
Very exciting. So this is a project that is going to cost $33.6 million. Where's that funding coming from?
So this is part of what we call at Munson Healthcare our kind of long-range capital plan. And so it has been an investment that we have been planning to make for quite some time. And so it is part of our capital budget over the next 3 years. So this is a 3-year investment in the Gaylord community.
So why is now a good time to make this transition?
So we've really been assessing the needs of our patients and the needs of our communities. And so we've identified the need to be able to keep more patients in the Gaylord community based on, again, kind of our community needs assessment. So this is going to be a 2-year construction project. So we need to start now so that we can, we'll be excited to open the new facility in 2 years, but it will require 2 years of work in order to get there. So we needed to really start now in order to be able to better serve patients kind of in our broader East region once the construction project is complete. So again, we saw the need and needed to start the project. So 2 years from now, we're going to be able to keep more patients close to home when they need an inpatient stay.
So during construction, will any services or facilities be impacted? Any current services?
So we are going to continue to provide all services that we currently provide at Otsego Memorial Hospital during construction. It's part of the reason it's a 2-year construction project, so that we're able to continue to provide care and not disrupt services while we do this major renovation. So the plan is over the next 2 years, we'll continue to offer the current services while we're making this significant investment into that facility.
And just to kind of put things into perspective, how much harder is it for patients and their families when they are in the Gaylord area, but then they do end up having to be sent to another hospital like Traverse City for treatment or care?
Well, so when a patient needs to be sent to Traverse City, or sometimes we have patients that need to be sent downstate, first of all, the patient typically requires an ambulance ride to Munson Medical Center in Traverse City. It means the family then needs to find transportation. And depending on how long the patient is in the hospital, the family will need to probably travel back and forth. So it's a significant strain on the family. And so, we recognize that it's better for patients to be able to stay locally, as well as for their family and kind of caregivers who are going to be with them on their journey and helping to facilitate their care when they leave the hospital and return back home. So it really is better for patients, better for families to be able to stay closer to home, as opposed to having to travel, upwards of over an hour each way to see a family member when they're in the hospital.
Sure. Will definitely make lives a lot easier for a lot of people. Would you say that is going to be the biggest impact of this expansion?
There's going to be a lot of very positive impact with this expansion. So yes, first and foremost, this is great for our kind of Gaylord and broader East Region community. So offering the option to stay closer to home and receive a higher level of care in that community. I think this is also great for our team members at Munson Healthcare. We're excited about this growth in the Gaylord community, and we're also really excited from a birthing center perspective to be able to offer really a best-in-class birthing center, as well as some additional capabilities. So I think, we're going to be able to provide that higher level of care, keep patients closer to home, and to have that entirely new birthing center experience. So we're very excited, and I think we see a lot of benefits that our community will see as well once construction is complete.
Is there anything else that you want to mention about this expansion that we really haven't touched on yet?
We are getting a lot of questions about, if we're making this investment in Otsego, what about our other hospitals in our East Region? And I want to just address that we're continuing to provide great care at our other hospitals like Gaylord, Grayling, and Charlevoix, and Cadillac, and Manistee. So this construction project really doesn't take away from those services. The Grayling Hospital is the one we get the most questions about. Grayling will remain a hospital through this transition, so we are committed to all the communities that we serve. But I think that's one frequently asked question that I wanted to make sure that I touched on this evening.
Yeah, well, thanks for kind of clarifying that and for providing all this additional information about this expansion for Otsego Memorial Hospital. It's very exciting. And thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it and just hearing a little more information about what is to come in the Otsego County area. So again, Laura, thank you so much. We are going to turn things over to another story that we are working on today. This one is out of Lansing. So Michigan's lame duck legislature is tackling a slew of bills before the end of the session and before Democrats lose their trifecta in the House, Senate, and governorship. So one of those bills that passed the Senate last week looks to take care of what's called a zombie law, and in the process make adultery no longer illegal in our state. So here is Mark Shillette with that full story.
I don't know why we're wasting our time on these bizarre social things when we've got real issues to be addressing.
Lame duck sessions in Lansing can leave some lawmakers scratching their head. Senator John DeMoose, he's one of them.
We've got real serious issues we have to be addressing, and yet they're bringing up this bill that hasn't even been enforced in forever.
While he believes his colleagues should have been tackling the tip wage debate and more pressing matters in the Sprint lame duck session, instead he found himself hearing all about the state's rarely enforced adultery law and whether it should stay on the books.
If these are things to be proud of, bring it up. They've had all year to bring up this adultery law that nobody even knew was still on the books. If it was that valuable, why didn't you bring it up in June? Why didn't you bring it up in May? Why sneak it and hide it at the end of the year?
This is what he says was snuck in. Right now, committing adultery is a felony in Michigan, punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a $5,000 fine. But the problem is, while a lot of people may be breaking that law, no one's getting arrested for it.
I haven't prosecuted an adultery case, and I haven't defended a client accused of that crime either.
It's never come up for attorney and former county prosecutor Lauren Kreinbrink.
I think that one of the reasons we're not seeing it enforced is because we have other higher priority crimes, assaultive crimes, drug crimes, that prosecutors with limited staffs, and I know this from being a prosecutor, they're inundated with.
It's a low priority crime. And with Michigan being a no-fault divorce state since 1972, even a conviction for adultery would likely have little impact on divorce proceedings.
Legally, it really doesn't have a bearing on, whether a party can pursue a divorce or how the overall outcome plays out.
She says as our society changes, so do our laws, just not quite as quickly.
Our legislation often lags behind what we do in society.
Our legal system has limited resources and higher priorities, which Senator DeMoose believes is the same boat our lawmakers are in.
It's sort of one of those ghost laws sitting on the books that are out there. So this isn't an issue anybody's asking any of us to address here.
And that's perhaps where his frustration's coming from. Doing something here that no one's asking of them, at a time when he believes there's plenty of requests that actually need addressing.
It's a total waste of time.
That was Mark Shillette reporting. And as of right now, there are 16 states where adultery is illegal. Michigan is one of only 3 where it's a felony. Another example is in Maryland. It's a misdemeanor and it's only a $10 fine. Now, the bill heads off to the state house for its consideration. Let's turn things over to a story related to the winter weather we've been seeing. Saw a lot last week and we'll be seeing a bit more this week. So with all the snow we've had so far this season, ski resorts are not the only businesses that are busy and have seen a lot of action across northern Michigan. The snow has given a good reason for snowmobiles to come out of the garage, and meteorologist Trevor Robideau reports on the kickoff to snowmobile season, and he explains how a local business is reacting to the change compared to this time last year.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. We came up last night, and honestly, this is very fortunate to have this right now.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and there is a lot more for some businesses to do than set up Christmas trees. Extreme Power Sports in Gaylord had a holiday rush to get things ready for the season.
We go through, get all that stuff hung up, get all of our sleds out of storage, start building all of our new sleds, getting those prepared for the season. Then we swap our entire showroom around from ATVs and side-by-sides to start swapping, getting all the snowmobiles and everything like that inside, get people thinking about them, get them excited for it.
And excited people are. Snow fell every single day this past week, leaving over 40 inches in some areas. And with fresh snow, snowmobiles have taken to the trails and streets.
Yeah, it's actually unbelievable that we were riding this early before Christmas. It's been a long time coming.
A long time coming for all who enjoy the snowy outdoors. Last season was a letdown for many who wanted to recreate on the trails or even take their sleds to work or stores and restaurants. Now, businesses and riders alike are making up for lost time.
Right now is putting a good run for the numbers this past May anyways, just the amount of sleds that people are coming in, looking at, wanting to buy and everything like that. We've done numbers here the last week and a half or so since we got snow. It's been really increasing compared to then.
Markovich says there was hesitation early on for people to buy snowmobiles this fall. But with the snow on the ground, the perception of many changed dramatically.
A lot of people were very hesitant beginning of the season. After last year, they were, hey, I don't know, let's kind of hold off. I don't know if we want to buy sleds yet. Now, that whole thing has changed. People are excited. They're looking. They're getting out, riding again.
With a La Nina predicted for this year, the Climate Prediction Center thinks we will see a lot more snow this year. In Otsego County, Trevor Robideau reporting for UpNorthLive News.
And let's take a quick look at our question of the day related to Trevor's story. Have you gone snowmobiling this season? You can scan the QR code on your screen right now to vote if you haven't. As of right now, 87% say nope, 13% say yes. Kind of a niche question, because if you don't have a snowmobile, then you're probably voting no, like I did. We will continue to keep a look at those live results and check them out a little later at the end of our show, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. Joe mentioned earlier that we have more snow on the way. He will fill you in on what you need to know about that coming up next.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Welcome back, everyone. We've been talking about another snow system that is heading our way. So for more on that, let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Joe Charlevoix. Joe, when will we start to see some of this snow?
Well, I think even tonight, a couple snow showers, Maya. This is going to kind of slowly ramp up and get going.
Okay.
So tomorrow, there will be a little snow and rain in spots. Pockets where it'll be a little heavier. And then more so tomorrow night. And then Wednesday, it's going to ramp up into the afternoon. And then especially Wednesday night, one of those situations. Yeah. Let's go to Cadillac. This is a look there now. About an hour and a half ago, we had a gorgeous sunset. I know up north, if you were around Sheboygan, Sault Ste. Marie is pretty gray, pretty cloudy today. But Traverse City South, Cadillac, for instance, we had some sun late afternoon and evening. Just kind of a little rare treat this time of the year. But we do have winter storm watches now in effect, including areas there around Cadillac. This is for tomorrow night. This is Tuesday night into Wednesday through Thursday night. We're looking at 6 to 12 inches potentially of lake effect snow here for the blue shaded areas. That's from Charlevoix County down along the lakeshore, within a county or two of Lake Michigan. Gusty winds, and obviously there'll be some hazardous travel with that as well. Here's a look at things right now. Now, it was cloudy early. We did have a little bit of rain, some showers in the UP. We had kind of messy weather earlier today with the winter weather advisory. It's since been allowed to expire. But if you look upstream, look up here at the temperatures tonight. Up in Canada, yeah, it's cold. And that chilly air mass is going to drop into northern Michigan. So if you look on the map here, you see the Great Lakes, you see Traverse City there. Look at the cold air, what happens here. Wednesday into Thursday, this lobe of this is going to drop in. That's going to kick up lake effect snow. It doesn't last very long, though, because already by Friday into the weekend, that gradually starts to depart. So here's what we're thinking in terms of rain and snow. A few rain, snow showers tonight. Tomorrow morning, nothing widespread tomorrow, but there will be some, especially around Traverse City there. Tomorrow afternoon, could be a little messy. Alpena, nothing. Houghton Lake, pretty quiet. And then as we get into the overnight, you see these areas of snow, or some of the areas of snow, into Wednesday. And then Wednesday night through Thursday is when that heavier snow will start to kick up, right in there. So you can see some of that. Wednesday night, that's that lake effect snow. It'll dump pretty good. And then Thursday, there's the lake effect snow, which will start to taper off on Friday. I'm not going to give a super long range forecast on the snow. Now, through tomorrow, you're not looking at much. By tomorrow afternoon, an inch or less. But then the snow will start adding up, especially in spots late Tuesday night into Wednesday, and higher areas, especially there around Ludington, parts of Mason County, and the Grand Traverse region too, perhaps around Traverse City, for instance. Here's the extended forecast. Gaze at Thursday. Yeah, 19 and 16. Pretty big drop in temperature. That's that cold air coming in. Of course, we're going to get the lake effect snow. But it doesn't last long. We're back in the 30s as we head into the weekend. Another system comes in. I do think some snow Saturday afternoon. Some of that may hang around into the day on Sunday, Maya.
Got to chill just looking at Thursday's high temperature. All right, thanks, Joe. We're going to take another quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll bring in our sports director, Harrison Beebe. Stay with us. Well, the college football playoff bracket looking a little different this year with the expanded 12-team field. So for more on that, let's bring in our sports director, Harrison Beebe, live from the Content Center. Hey, Harrison.
Yeah, Maya, you're feeling pretty good. Your Indiana Hoosiers making the first ever 12-team field. That's got to be pretty nice.
It's pretty exciting, I will say. I'm very happy for them. I think they deserve this.
Well, this is kind of, college football for years. They had the 2 teams playing for a BCS national championship. Then they expanded to the 4-team playoff about 10 years ago to give a few more teams a chance at it. But a lot of people have said, with all these competitive teams and the way March Madness is such a popular bracket-addicted form of society for college sports, they said, why don't we do something like this for college football? I know my dad for years wanted to see an expanded playoff field, so now we have it, and here it is right now, right in front of us, and 4 Big Ten teams making the 12-team field, which is a record for all of the conferences. That includes the SEC across the nation. Oregon being the number 1 seed, they're going to play the winner of the Ohio State-Tennessee matchup, in the second round. That'll be at the Rose Bowl, which would be cool. So we could see an all Big Ten matchup and an old school Big Ten Pac-12 matchup in the Rose Bowl. You look on down, Arizona State is the Big 12 champion. They'll play the winner of Texas Clemson in their half of the bracket. Boise State, a group of 5 team, which is a big knock on the playoff in years past, is these smaller schools didn't have a chance to compete for a national championship. Well, now with the new rules for this 12-team playoff, the highest seeded group of 5 team does get to do that, and that is Boise State this year. They will face the winner of the Penn State Southern Methodist matchup, which is a matchup you probably never thought you'd see in a college football playoff. And then we have Georgia from the SEC champion. They get the bye. They will face the winner of your Hoosiers going up against Notre Dame in the battle for Indiana. And that'll be the first game that starts the playoff 1 week from Friday, December 20th. At Notre Dame Stadium. So a pretty cool way to kick off the new playoff field there for the battle for Indiana.
So will you be cheering for the Hoosiers?
I'm cheering for all the underdogs in this one. Just like March Madness, let's see some chaos this
all
first
right.
year and see what happens.
I'll take it. Thanks, Harrison. We do have to take another quick commercial break, but we're going to be back in just a few minutes, and we will take another look at the live results for our question of the day. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Taking one last look at our live results of our question of the day. Have you gone snowmobiling this season? 86% say nope, 14% say yes. I'm sure not a lot of folks were out this weekend because of all the melting, but as Joe just mentioned, we do have more snow on the way. So If you haven't gotten your snowmobile out of the garage yet, this week might be a good week to do it. But that'll do it for Up North Live Unscripted tonight at 6:30. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you back here at 11 o'clock tonight. Take care, everyone.